One of the things that is always difficult for a lot of us is figuring out our week-to-week calendar. We have senior pastors who may say we don't work enough hours. We have wives and families who say we're always at work. We have maybe even volunteers who work 40 hours a week and secretly are thinking, how come he includes Sunday morning and Wednesday night in his 40 hours and I have to do that on top of my 40 hours? All these kind of things. How do we have to be in the office at 8:30 in the morning when all the kids are out of school at 3:30 to 5 to 7? That's my best time to work. How do we figure this all out? Well, in our church a few years ago, we came up with a system that we liked, and we implemented it for our whole staff. It really worked well for our pastors. It worked for me. It worked for my family too. And here's how that worked. Okay, here's your basic everyday week, right? I've broken it into morning, afternoon, evening every day to create 3 chunks of time every day. Could be 4 hours, however you want to look at that. I'm trying to make it really simple here. So the person that volunteers for you that works downtown, there's their work week. Monday to Friday, 2 chunks a day, that equals 10. They don't have the option really of moving it to there. Sometimes I guess they do or they can't, right? We have the option in our job that those 10 hours or those 10 chunks become completely flexible. We can work them however we want. There's some things that are non-negotiables. But here's one of the things that I think is important. If our volunteers are working 40 hours a week, those chunks right there, we also expect them to come to church on Sunday. We also expect them to come to youth group Wednesday or Tuesday or Friday, whatever it is this week. So we're expecting in their life to do 40 hours plus that, and I think for the sake of integrity, we need to begin to look at our job the same way. It doesn't mean that we're going to be these 40, right? Because we might always be these 40. And if you have preschool kids or you're single, that works great. As soon as you have kids in grade school, you're never going to see your kids then. We got to be able to do that with way more flexibility and with way more wisdom. As I look at my week then, the first thing that I do is I mark off what are my non-negotiable time blocks. I have to be there Sunday morning. I know that. I have to be there Wednesday night. I know that. I'm always going to work Wednesday afternoon to make sure Wednesday night's ready, and I have staff meeting on Tuesday morning. So that's what it looked like. I take Monday off, so I'm going to keep that clear. I love to be able to take Monday and Saturday off, but that's only if I'm ready and if I've worked 12 in these other days. But there's different ways to look at this. If I can put these non-negotiable ones in and then take it to my family, then they can plug in or unplug different times. Like for example, if Thursday afternoon is a dentist appointment for the kids and she needs me to be there with her, I can make sure I leave that one open this week as we plan through this. So maybe it looks like this. Maybe there is my Monday to Friday, just like everybody else. And if I do that, then I've got my 40 hours plus 1 plus that, right? It doesn't always look that way because I know kids are in school here and I need to spend more time with kids. So maybe that one there comes down here. Maybe that one comes down here. Let's see what this looks like. So maybe there's the day my wife said, please block that off because there is a dentist appointment there. So what am I going to do? I'm going to still continue to work a full day Thursday. Instead of taking the evening off, I got the afternoon off there. Totally fair, right? Where am I sitting now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Totally good, right? So Tuesday, I'm going to split this one actually, and I'm going to only do half of that one there because I need to go till about 6 o'clock to visit with kids there. I can have that flexibility, I can do that, but I'm going to work the equivalent of that, right? Now the scary thing here is, let me color that in like day off here. The scary thing is I begin to look at that and say, I only got 1 day off. What's with that? The truth is, when we look at it from our volunteers' perspective, they're working exactly the same thing. They have to count Sunday morning as they come to church, it's their day off. Why don't I go to church on my day? Why do I count it that way? It became very difficult here. I'm going to say don't work 3 in a day unless you have to, just for your own personal health. Some days we have to, maybe lots of times we have to, and allow our family to speak into it.
Now, as I got older and I worked with this for a while, it became really easier for us to look at it this way. With 4 weeks in a month, 12, 12, 12, 12 is 48. I could mark off again my non-negotiables and then take it to my wife and say, we got to get this to 48. What else is happening? Oh yeah, there's a youth retreat. And I got to mark that off here because all of a sudden this looks completely different this week because we're away there. And we got a Friday night event there, and I've got a parents' night there. So I start plugging in my non-negotiables, and then we can plug in all the rest to get it up to 48. This could potentially be a really, really long week. And if I'm there early Friday morning getting ready, and Thursday and Wednesday I'm planning this retreat as well as youth group, I may end up with a crazy, crazy week, which is way more than 12. The next week or the week before then, I can take one off to equal 48. I think we're being fair.
So I think we need to think about integrity in our hours. We need to think about when we need to work and when the kids are available, when I need to get office work done versus when I need to get out of the office and just be with people. How does that all work? How does that all balance? I think this might just give us a little bit of a tool to be able to make that happen.